Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting Propagandacast from your host, Imperial Dane, Master Propaganda Hero Psych, Defender of the Fatherland. Off here to an exciting on 1 vs 1 on Crossroads. Picture the setting. It's Eastern France, 1944. As they're approaching the German border, the Americans here under the command of Patton here, in this case commanded by Miragefla, more locally, of the 3rd Armored Division, are making close towards the German border. Lining up against them is Væringjar, fighting for the Wehrmacht, Germany, Deutschland. Taking on here as the 111th Panzer Brigade thrust into battle to throw back the armies and destroy them. Here with Jaeger Infantry, Storm Doctrine, and Blitzkrieg with Pantherfaust, Panzergunner Infantry Bulletin versus Armor, Recon Support, and Mechanized Company from Miragefla, so an interesting bunch of doctrinal choices there with double infantry and 50 caliber bulletins. Moving east and west to see with his infantry, setting out aggressively for America, freedom and democracy. As Væringjar doubles down on the eastern side here, certainly a very good idea here, since in any sort of engagement the rifleman can usually otherwise beat an isolated Wehrmacht unit. So versus the Americans as the Wehrmacht, you usually want a very combined arm centric approach, so that way, you know, maximize the MD-42 then supported by other units, so that way actually make gains against the Americans. But his capping order does seem a bit peculiar, sort of a bit too scattered, and in this case he might risk getting punished for it pretty quickly. Then Miragefla though could have maybe tried rushing the rifle grenadiers here, but in this case decided not to, possibly wearing a machine gun carrying them, which there is now, but wasn't quite there right away. Sandbags being tossed down the centre, west side being secured here. Trying not committing too much into these so far, into the meat grinder of war. But second grenadiers got their eye for Væringjar and the 111th Panzer Brigade. MD-42 thinks to try getting up further here. Seems like Væringjar might be occupied with other matters, which is leaving, I think, a gap here in response, which again he should be producing the machine gun to much more actively support his grenadiers against the rifle in any engagement rather than just hanging about here. Running off here, trying to deny Miragefla precious cover. And we got 3 rifle squads. They could go for a mortar, could go for a 4th rifle squad, or he could of course take out for a lieutenant. Numerous paths open there for Miragefla, and meanwhile Væringjar's machine gun remains inert. With the 3rd Grenadier Squad there for Væringjar and the 111th Panzer Brigade moving back up to wire off there again. He is determined. We can see that Miragefla is lining up here for an assault now. In which case, I mean, theoretically he can cover a lot, but the problem is the way the terrain is set up here, there are definite gaps in his line of fire. He can't really turn around. There's basically 2 shot on reaction time, so he attacks from here, and it sneaks up here. The MD-42 is going to not enough time to react. So depending on Miragefla how he times it. There we go. Semi-decently timed, but the problem is still there's a lot of riflemen from other sides. And the MD-42 is basically exposed here. So that's again another reason again if you supported they would be able to maintain a better front line. But right now instead Miragefla swings in here with 3 rifle squads. Most of Væringjar's forces are occupied elsewhere, so that's going to be a complete collapse in the eastern flank. As Miragefla pushes in very hard. He's also going for some tech up. He's going for grenades. A bold choice here. Also usually quite unexpected, of course, the American players will go for it. Even then a good well-placed grenade here could catch Væringjar quite off guard and hurt him. On the other hand, it does slow down his tech just a bit. And once, of course, he tosses the grenades, Væringjar will over there. Go grenade off against the Grenadiers, punched up here. He does fall back. Poor Fritz, though, gets blown up in the process. And there's a need to retreat. Rifle squad, they're falling back, having suffered quite a bit there. MD-42 reinforcing tech being done there for Væringjar. And far up north, we've got a Grenadier squad, I believe, finding out there with a re-echelon squad. Oh, that's actually the Pioneers. Never mind me. But rifle pushing ahead here, the rifle squad almost taken out. Overall, not a good engagement there for Væringjar. Not a good engagement. He needs to get all of his other forces moving ahead here for Germany. He needs to get that fuel point back in action. Even is denying Miragefla access to his fuel point. Væringjar does not want to be cut off for long. And Miragefla, in an interesting move here, goes for the captain. A lot of situations go for the the lieutenant, but again there's this slight shift in momentum as mentioned in yesterday's video about the impact of the actual patch. And it could very well Miragefla trying to figure out ways here to deal with the 2-2s more efficient, in which case a Stuart light tank, and for that matter the captain mounted tank guns, can certainly put a bit of a stop to that. So that could very well be Miragefla's plan here, trying to cut off any light vehicles there from Væringjar, who's going for another Pioneer squad up, and there go grenade off almost right in the Pioneers. MD-42 the suppressing, almost but not quite. Not getting the fuel point there. Might be an oversight there from Væringjar. Might just be, but he's not taking up either. Then again, he might plan on leaving the depleted pioneers to do that as to reinforce. That's definitely one way of doing it. Miragefla's got the captain up, ambulance out, and Væringjar here, of course, will soon see the captain in telling him that, oh hey, my opponent's gone for the captain. I should probably expect a steward. In which case, 2-2s might not be necessarily the best choice unless I go for a bunch of them, packs or something else. We'll have to see how Væringjar exactly responds to this. The Miragefla's making another push here for the east, where Miragefla's now got not enough force nearby to support. There's a definite lack of machine guns or other force concentrations, so having not secured the fuel point now, they're certainly not going to get it anytime soon. And there you go, grenade for the pioneers, and getting a wipe there. Good throw there by Miragefla. Væringjar here, think getting punished for basically extending quite aggressively as the Americans, in particular as an American player with grenades. That is usually on the more dangerous side of things. Let me see how Miragefla though goes for next. Will he go for the steward? Is the captain just a bluff in that department, or is there something else going on there with Miragefla? And what will he do here to see it off? He's going, I think, for light machine guns? No? More flamethrowers. I mean, he's clearly not anticipating Miragefla going for mines. None there at all. Hitting the fuel point there. The cuff point has not been secured. That's not going to be doing anything right away. But there you go, unfortunately, support the Grenadiers here. But there you go, managed to pull up behind the hedges there, avoiding death. And there you go, big push up here. Grenadiers need to retreat. They're like getting a grenade up close here by the rifle. And there you go, Væringjar just retreats because even without the grenade, though, the rifleman will still beat the Grenadiers hands down. Since the riflemen pretty much enjoy a 50% DPS advantage up close. And that's just on an individual basis. When they got 5 squad members, that's obviously a slightly bigger difference overall. Pack out for Miragefla, interesting choice here. Artillery, not steward, anything like that. 2-2 on the way for Væringjar, so he's either not too worried about the steward, or he doesn't care. Or possibly, he's seen through Miragefla's bluff here, maybe. Or he just feels like he needs the 2-2 no matter what to contain Miragefla. I mean, there's a lot of sort of potential things that could be going through Væringjar's head here as he's fighting versus Miragefla. Where the pack house is almost done here for the 3rd Armoured Division, who pulls ahead against the 111th Panzer Brigade. Pushing up the west side there. Got the 2-2 setting up, Grenadiers are done. Medics on the way there for Væringjar. There we go, 2-2 engaging heroically for the fatherland. Of course, need to doesn't get too close. Pack cards have been carted forward to the Miragefla and the 3rd Armoured. Væringjar's making no signs of anything. There you go, captain caught out in the MG42. A swift fusillade there, pushing him down into the dirt. Quick pop inside the armor piston rounds for increased damage, but there you go, captain pops smoke. Very nice use there by Miragefla, very nice use. 2-2 further falling back. Machine gun probably should reposition so the rifle can't easily pop up a grenade. And there you go, does reposition, but it feels a bit on the slower side. Take up, nothing further there for Væringjar. Will he go for a Pack 40? Will he consider Panzer Grenadiers since he does have the bulletins? And if Miragefla is sticking to unupgraded riflemen, the Panzer Grenadiers do help nicely. Also, those Grenadiers need to retreat. I think they're basically risking, if they fight too long, that the retreat path is going to be pretty lethal. And there you go, Captain Blink 2 again. Have a good hit there with a scratch machine gun, cutting down some poor bastard. Some cold blood. Pack out to find, and there we go. We got the Panzer Grenadier out there for Væringjar. Grenadiers. Oh, that's going to be a wipe. Too late there, too late. He should retreat on the spot. Might be that he forgot, or there was a misclick or mispress. Hard to say there for Væringjar. Either way, the Grenadiers bit the dust. They gave their lives for Germany. There you go, Panzer Grenadier out there for Væringjar. For Germany. M4 switching around to the Cough Point. He's worried about that area. Grenadiers moving up his side to good support. We'll have to see what he does with the Panzer Grenadiers. As for Miragefla, there's certainly, I think, indications he might be planning to rush ahead there for the battalion command post. Nope, now he's going for the anti-tank gun. Here, closing in the 10-minute mark. Neither side is yet to commit to Doctrine, indicating that either waiting the other fellow to go for Doctrine, or they're just not sure what they want. I mean, Doctrine, theoretically, Jaeger Infantry could be a choice here for Væringjar just to get the Jaeger command squad out, giving a 5-man squad with G4 Fist already there. Could provide a bit of impact here versus Miragefla. Storm Doctrine, ambush training, pretty useful ability. Or Blitzkrieg as opposed to the command tank if things go right that way, plus anti-air tank support and other fun things. Miragefla then some committing here to Recon support. And looks like we got supervision there from the captain. Could he be trying to rush out of Sud all of a sudden? Blindsiding maybe, Væringjar? Nope. Just to get out the entertainment a bit faster to do fall back before the M1 takes it out, and that's going to be it, I think. Nope, got lucky there. M1 missed at range. Quite aggressively. He's pulling back there for reinforcement, healing up here. He's fighting up against larger force, but again, overall, Miragefla when he attacks, generally just tends to attack with the great numbers, which makes it harder there for Væringjar to push him back without additional firepower, one way or the other. And there you go, Greyhound out. So Miragefla, I think, set sort of push ahead there for tier 3 and push out for tanks. Maybe felt like Væringjar's 2-2, then other elements could pressure him sufficiently enough to make that a bad idea, and so instead just doubles back on with anti-tank guns and Greyhounds here. So that way throw back your Væringjar. Also got harassment in the east there. Væringjar, in the meanwhile, having absolutely no such consideration. He's pulling here for tech, but he's also without a Doctrine. He does, I think, need to be better at defending his fuel pool in the east, or he needs to be better at securing Miragefla's fuel pool in the west. Meanwhile, Miragefla could consider laying down some mines here and there, maybe. I mean, Væringjar has got no minesweepers whatsoever, so if you even just anti-tank man from the distance could possibly give Væringjar there a bit of a headache. So we'll see when it's up with. After that, so far I'd say is doing reasonably well here versus Væringjar. Of course, the true test comes once the panzers begin hitting, and in that regard, Væringjar will have a slight advantage. As long as he can get back the fuel, though. I mean, at this rate, Miragefla could easily bounce back. In particular on Crossroads, which actually has more points than the average, meaning if you have a large chunk of the map here, you generally end up with more resources than you would on most other maps, which can allow for aggressive and accelerated tech if you're not careful. More grenadiers out here, more light machine guns. Not say additional Panzer Grenadier, but there you go. So Paul McCrop, he could rush out Stuck, he could go for the Ostwind, or more likely he's going to go for the Panzer IV, the all-around choice here. Able to deal with both armor and infantry consistent enough. Miragefla calling in support here. Calling in paratroopers alongside an anti-tank and providing him with pressure support. Definitely not a bad choice there for Miragefla. Roughing it off. Sadly though, Miragefla dodges it quite nicely. Grenades off in return, but also misses. No, he does go for the Ostwind here. I'm guessing here Væringjar is basically betting with all the stuff here that Miragefla is doing that he's not going to be taking for medium armor anytime soon and can get away with an Ostwind to help counter the infantry and the light vehicles. But again, the Panzer IV I think can also do it to a good degree, and plus it can take some more hits. Also still no Doctrine from Væringjar. Miragefla is not doing too much. You can see Væringjar's base is stalling for time in the east. He's trying to pick up with a Panther first. Paratroops there go. Grenade by the Panzer going to deal it. And there we go. Need to clear up the anti-tank, in which case he can rush forward the Ostwind. It's not quite working out our way. Flak Panzer effects right here. One of 3 anti-aircraft tanks actually based on the Panzer IV chassis. There's the Ostwind, the Wirbelwind, and the Möbelwagen. With the Ostwind being the one least produced, followed by the Wirbelwind, and then the most produced version of it was the Möbelwagen, which had a slightly interesting turret design and was equipped either with 30mm guns like this one, or the quad flak-wheeling like the Wirbelwind. Fun fact. From these, they need to retreat, and they need to retreat soon. And there you go, I'm caught here with the Flak Panzer. There's no flaks of death, and there you go. Anti-tank grenades and anti-tank gun opening up there. Need to pull back the Ostwind there before that gets destroyed. And same with the Panzer, they need to retreat. Rückzug and to taking heavy hits here. Double anti-tank is definitely quite a problem. But there you go, grenades rushing up the centre. Lost the 2-2-2. Bit of a blow there to Væringjar versus Miragefla. Bit of a blow. and Miragefla's also managed to take up here. There we go, canister round, tearing into the Pioneers, and Grenadiers are repulsed as well. Flak Panzer need repairs, but that looks like that's going to be forthcoming anytime soon. Instead, we're getting an mortar out. Ganadenwerfer. Careful there, careful. Going for the western field point, troops are reinforcing, healing, and the Ganadenwerfer is almost down there from the 11th Panzer Brigade, which was basically part of the 2nd Series Panzer Brigades, which didn't get quite the top quality stock, but still received tanks like the Panzer IV and Stugs instead of Panthers and Jagdpanzers. Also, they had more trucks rather than fully armoured half-tracks. Fun fact. Also, less heavily equipped with assault rifles. Ooh, nice attempt here, but instead bunches up, hit right for a grenade, and that's pretty much a wipe. Bit of a mistake there by Væringjar. Guessing it's not quite used to American rifling with grenades, and that's certainly something the Miragefla is more than keen to exploit. Paired with the bazookas, he certainly wants to shot down any sort of vehicle play there from Væringjar. Who's going to have to replace his machine gun there. There you go, big push up the East Rifle hold moving in. The Ostman's still not repaired. That definitely should be a bit of priority, I think, there from Væringjar. But with all the troops that Miragefla's got running about. There you go, moving up there though. Rifle getting fired up on the mortar rounds running down as well. And there you go, down to half her push away, shown away there. Væringjar, I suppose, could be forced to go for the Stug. They could try and stall for the Panzer IV. Creeping up further, he entertained moving up. Another push for the cough on there. He almost got the pack out. He wiped the crew, of course he can't make off with it. But still, wiping it is going to make things a bit more quick there for Miragefla. He's certainly been quite aggressive towards the cough on. There you go. We got the Stug on the way. Væringjar, I think at this stage, pretty much realising he can't afford to wait for a Panzer IV. Ostman almost good to go. Still no doctrinal choice from Væringjar. Certainly begs the question what exactly he's thinking there. Looks like he can't actually decide. It looks like the Stug actually got cancelled before he's redecided again, basically delaying it. My guess is he's struggling a bit with the fuel math and thought he could cancel a bit sooner than maybe to go for the Panzer IV, and basically decided, wait a minute, that's dumb. And just instead ends up going for the Stug anyways. Need to retreat the Pioneers here. Flak Panzer super close to veterans 1. Major pushback by the Grenadiers on the west side there. We got troop points being secured on there. Go big push from Miragefla. Sherman support by infantry into tank guns. Very difficult for Væringjar with his current force comes to actually hold. I mean, also there's a big force size difference. In this regard, Væringjar's losses in there has not benefited him. Plus again, the Ostwind I really feel like was not a good choice here. I mean, generally, with your rushing armor, unless you're supremely confident you got a big lead, you go for something that can actually deal with armor. This is why most players go for the Panzer IV, because that can deal with both armor and infantry. Instead, he went for the Ostwind. And you're going for the Panzer IV, I'm pretty sure he could have a bigger impact, because the Panzer IV in a lot of cases the field does perform better as infantry. Time to get the Grim, got the shells from down smoke there. Ah, missed again. Packard was not recruited. Need to get the Stug out of there, and you should also consider Pinlock machine gun just help us with the infantry. Needs to get back in the field, just secure those field points. This, I think, is a big sticking point there for Væringjar. He's not getting a lot of field buzz again. I mean, right now, Miragefla's only getting 3 times as much, which is usually not good. I mean, he's currently getting twice as much, but like, he's not too far from 3 times as much. Actually, maybe he is. But at least twice as much is still not good. That is far from good. Well, I'm not entirely sure I was trying to take the point there with this Panzer gun. It seems a bit pointless. Alright men, we're securing this point which has absolutely no current strategic value to us. Have you been reading Mein Kampf again? Shut up! Got the Officer moving ahead there, anti-tank and captain moving in. Væringjar continues not to choose a doctrine. He remains very emphatic in that decision. Ram getting blasted there by the flak panzer. First on the flank there, tearing into the Yankees. Cat moving up here, holded by light machine gun fire. Easily Graveguard creeping up again right into the Stug. Still, he's managed to solve things a bit here against Miragefla. Miragefla on the end seems to start to try and find a way to deal with it. He's just sort of trying to creep ahead here, which can work to an extent, but at the same time allows Væringjar's aggressive tactic time to throw him off. And there you go. Bombs called in there. Need to fall out. And for those wondering why do they look like the German butterfly bombs, because they were a straight up copy of them. I mean, sometimes the Americans weren't exactly big on originality. Flak panzer down, mortar wiped. Ultimately, the flak panzer just ended up being a bit of a waste of resources there for Væringjar, to be honest. Double panzer grenadiers, that's not a bad idea. Jump down to half over right here from Miragefla. Might be pushing like a bit much. Might be a chance you can get it with a Stug. That'd be pretty good. There we go. Oh, survived. Well, there we go. One more hit from the Sturmgeschütz. Lighten and find another Stug on the way there for Væringjar, Deutschland. There's they're being repulsed back. How's they're being pushed back as well, going for straight for the carve point. Væringjar's definitely sort of believe in more aggressive tactics, or the shock tactics to throw off his opponent. In this regard, it does seem to work. Hitting straight for the carve point, cutting off the western side of the resources, while also knocking out a tank. He just, needs to start throwing away his stuff. Needs to be a bit more careful. Opponent's guns are about to get wiped out. Again, he overextends quite a lot. Might even lose a Grenadier squad as well, but losing the Vecchi 2 Panzer Grenadiers is quite costly. Quite costly. And he still hasn't chosen a doctrine. And that lack of machine gun, he can't easily hold his charge and just stall down Miragefla at times. So I definitely feel like Væringjar's force composition has some particular flaws. Comparatively, Miragefla's force is just big and just has a greater variety of units. Partly because he stole them from Væringjar, obviously. Well, liberated them. Got the anti-tank hanging about, their Greyhound sweeping about, veterans free, prepared for everything. Except tanks. And there you go, we can see he's listening machine guns to some of these things, which is good. Now the question is, what is he planning next? Bombing into the Grenadier siege. Stug should probably turn around a bit to deal with them. There you go, grenade off again. This time didn't quite have the impact he hoped for. And they're going to take it opening up. They easily penetrating the Stug's frontal armour. And they're going to take being focused on the gunners. We got rifle grenades off. Doesn't quite work. Still pushes back the entertainment, which allows the Stug to slightly better spot. There you go, rushing ahead, rushing ahead. Probably get the other Stug up support. There you go, Panzerfaust off, damage engine, entertain, they're getting exposed, could be a mistake given Miragefla. There you go, could get it, in which case he can rush ahead. The Stug to take out the Greyhound. That'll be quite a loss there for him, particularly then steals the anti-tank gun. There you go, got the anti-tank gun, I just need to destroy the Greyhound, steal the anti-tank gun, and turn it against Miragefla as well, or at least destroy it. He should definitely not allow Miragefla to get back in action. There you go, one more hit. Veteran 2 gaining the Stug, Veteran T2, might be pushing too far ahead. Fudge. Damage engine there, anti-tank and flanking in. Push the Stug too far ahead there. He got too greedy in response to Miragefla's greed. They definitely now need to grab the anti-tank. He's getting another Stug. They're replacing another blown up Sturmgeschütz. Another blown up Panzer. He's not going to replace the Stugs yet. He didn't even get the Greyhound. And there he goes, actually trying to destroy the anti-tank instead. I mean, if you can't grab it, feel like you can't grab it, doesn't make sense. Now the Stug on the way, they're halfway done, moving up there to deal with the Patriots advancing. So Bronze, they're penetrating the Stug's armor, and there we go, down it goes, ground rushing ahead there. More Bazooka teams moving up, those shots missing, Grenadiers wiped out. Another sizable loss there for Væringjar. He's bleeding out heavily here against Miragefla. Partly because, again, he has a slight tendency of extending. I mean, again, he's aggressive, but it generally doesn't seem to be like a exit plan in a lot of cases, and I do feel like sometimes he takes some unnecessary risks, like with the Stug here. Like, he should definitely begin pulling it back when he got into the range with the base, but he actually kept getting closer, allowing it to get anti-tank rifle grenaded. That's definitely not particularly prudent. Another Sherman on the way there for Miragefla for the 3rd Armoured. Stug moving in there, paratroopers ready to unleash hell. With the of course, that means we themselves to the Stug. Grenade off, grenades need to retreat. They keep forgetting about those grenades, it seems like. He generally seems to keep forgetting it. He really needs a machine gun now. He really needs a machine gun here versus Miragefla's troops. Something that can put the fear of the fatherland into those riflemen. More grenadiers for Væringjar. Victory points wisely assault form behind Miragefla and the 3rd Armoured Division as it moves ahead. Securing territory, and then it goes Sherman out there for Miragefla. Troops are reinforcing. Væringjar still hasn't chosen a Doctrine. I mean, we're almost 30 minutes into the game, and Væringjar seems, again, very determined not to choose a Doctrine. At this stage, again, part of me would say, yeah, you're infantry just for the A command squad. I mean, again, a 300 manpower squad that can still survive a bit more would be, I think, pretty good for him. Otherwise, I mean, the command tank would help his Stugs, his infantry, and also help deal with the infantry. I mean, Blitzkrieg is also very much an option. Right now, considering what his force looks like, I would say Storm Doctrine is probably the worst Doctrine there for Væringjar, but there definitely needs to be a choice. One to tank guns out there for the last round, the 3rd Armoured. So what Væringjar is planning here is certainly a bit difficult to determine. And straight into the anti-tank gun. Ooh, on the other Sherman back straight into the 2 Stugs. I was about to say moving the Stugs out like that was silly, but I mean, that was not great Sherman handling there either. He might like to get one Stugs. They've got another Grenadier squad wiped out though. I think that's the pack out of the ground that did it. Either way, though, Væringjar is suffering extreme loss. I mean, he's taking out tanks, but can't really afford these infantry losses. Like, they just make it hard for him to do anything. Much harder.
The enemy is overrunning one of our capture points.
Still, I mean, he did get the Sherman. Gonna roll to hit the Stugs so he got the anti-tank gun then. A bad choice. Nope. He's going for the Greyhound. Oh, there we go. Now the anti-tank gun destroyed. Need to get the Stug out before it gets destroyed. The 253 versus 349. Second Panzer Grenadier squad out there for Væringjar. Still no Doctrine. I mean, again, alright, he pretty much then goes for the Doctrine I personally described as the worst possible one. I mean, I'm imagining he's got a plan with it though. I don't necessarily see a plan that could at least sort of fix up some of his issues, which again, large revolve around him, bleeding out infantry quite aggressively, in which case again a 5-man Jaeger squad there would do some good, or at least having the command tank to help soak up some of the losses or the damage. Instead, he chooses the Doctrine, which sort of, at least from my initial perspective, doesn't necessarily, offset those things. When ambush camouflage would be good. Oh, need to retreat there. Otherwise, I suppose, I mean, he's planning ambush camouflage, but he could have gone that from Jaeger infantry as well. So, smoke, artillery maybe. Big push here though from Miragefla through the centre. Eastern flank also been collapsed. Finally going for another MD-42 there. Very good. Very good. By the 1 11th Pan Brigade once more finds itself on the defensive here versus Miragefla and the 3rd Armoured. Rifle moving ahead into the Grenadiers. And there you go. Final replacement machine gun there for Væringjar. I would say that took him much too long there. Should probably lost the suit just to, you know, find the main guns. Occasionally get some good hits out of that. Still, Væringjar's holding on decently, but he just keeps extending too far with some of his units losing them, which prevents them from, you know, continuing onwards, pressuring Miragefla. It's basically just his ability to take out the Sherman so fast, and part of Miragefla just pushing his tanks around a bit, like, you know, they're apparently made of something much tougher than he actually anticipated them to be, so, you know, not helping out there. We got Mindstorm from Væringjar. There you go, holding the rifle. Again, extending the grenades into the centre, that is not good. You get the anti-tank in there while the Stoops want to take out the Greyhound. That would be a bad choice. Rifle grenade off. Good. He can actually destroy that. That means Miragefla's down to bazookas, basically. Although he's going to have the Jackson out soon enough. Panzer's being supported by the MD-42. We can see that with the machine gun. His force composition sound looks a lot better. He's much better ways of fighting the riflemen. So let's send some improvements there now. Send some improvements, and there might be a better chance of a, you know, actual comeback for Væringjar rather than just remaining on the defensive. Quite a bit. Though of course the Jackson could certainly jeopardise that. There you go. M36 Jackson tanks are up. Panzer the Handy behind the anti-tank gun. Immediately coming under fire. Just need to fall back. Creeping through the terrain. There's spotted, repulsed. There you go, Petrus. These guys just need to retreat. They're going to get grenaded. There we go. Seems to finally learn here that Miragefla knows how to use grenades. Fun fact: the Germans did have a slightly similar grenade here to the Mark II frag grenade. It was known as the Eierhandgranate. It was also a fragmentation grenade. I actually believe they had it back in World War I as well. Fun fact. But it tends to get less talked about because it didn't have, you know, the distinctive shape of the stick grenade. Or Stielhandgranate. Little fun fact there. Alright, he's going for tier 4. That's something. Definitely not what I anticipate him doing. I mean, I guess he can do it. Rolling it with the Stooks here, going for the ground, but there you go. Jackson can open up, need to fall back with the Stooks. Snell. Oh, no, he's rushing the Jackson instead. Panzer moving up as well there. He's going to try and take it out with heavy firepower. Almost got it too. You know, I think he's too shocked to use anti-tank rifle. It gets the Jackson. Both Stooks gain veterancy too. Panzer there grenading off. He needs to retreat though. Retreat. Rückzug. Rückzug. Scheiße. Rückzug. There you go, he does it again. He's laying down smoke bombs for the Panzer Grenadiers. The Panzer Grenadiers stood down. Oh, that was bloody, but taking out the Jackson like that, I mean, that definitely threw off Miragefla. Alright, don't worry. The Germans won't rush us. They're coming right at us, Sergeant. I don't know what to do. I'm sorry. I'm just, you know, boom. Again, Væringjar's definitely an aggressive player, but it's definitely bordering very heavily on the reckless side at times. And it's good to be aggressive to an extent. German Doctrine emphasised, you know, being aggressive, not just playing defensively. It's just, I'm pretty sure it also emphasised not getting your men pointlessly killed. But looks like he might be aiming for a Panther here, which with the machine guns can reasonably deal with infantry. Of course, his main gun can threaten armour. Funnily enough, the thing that Miragefla was able to keep alive is his Greyhound, the least armoured thing. Shermans, Jacksons, boom. Greyhound, apparently it's just... I'm surprised it's actually still operational because it's taking a lot of 75mm hits. I mean, theoretically, you know, the actual war, I'm pretty sure that Greyhound would not be operable anymore. But there you go. Heavy panzer corps up there for Væringjar. Very intriguing. Panzers, though, definitely think doing good work. There we go. We got sprint off. Again, a part of me really just wonders why I didn't go for Jaeger infantry, because again, it also has ambush camouflage. I mean, again, he could have gone for Jaeger command squad, which I think would also done a lot of good. Grenades being exchanged here. Like very explosive and very aggressive presence. Here, have a gift. No, I insist. Have one back. You shouldn't have. Oh, I should have. Got the Grand sneaking up there. And no, he's going for the Sturmpanzer. I mean, there's all the infantry and such. It can be good, but definitely a part of me thinks he'd go for the Panther here. But Sturmpanzer's definitely not a bad choice either. It does mean he's basically relying heavily on the Stukas here with armor. And again, it is a Vet 2 Stuk. Which, I mean, you know, does have a decent rate of fire. Now the Vet 2 bonus essentially becomes worth something. Now there's a bigger, you know, thing for it to discount in terms of reload fire. But, I don't know. Smoke bombs down again. I mean, that of course could be another reason we went for this Doctrine specifically. The smoke bombs. Definitely not a bad idea. Certainly helps them bait, you know, cover the retreats. Though, he probably would have benefited going for it much sooner than he actually did. You shoot the Panzer Grenadiers. 4 kills from the Sturmgeschütz. A few S-mines going off. There we go. Sturmpanzer added to support the 111th Panzer Brigade. Troops healing reinforcing. Almost gotten Veteran 3 Panzer Grenadier score. There's some true heroes of Germany. Victory points wise, it's still looking pretty rough here for Væringjar. I'm imagining the Sturmpanzer is going to make things look a bit less rough. Jackson number 2 on the way from Miragefla. With only 1 Stuk about, it should work out a bit better. There you go, Sturmpanzer shoots, and there's nothing there to shoot. But at least it didn't miss, I suppose. Adding a pin-up machine gun to that one, very good. The Sturmpanzer 4 had 100mm slightly sloped thick armour. Basically designed to, you know, fight in urban environments and clear out buildings and the likes. It basically came about due to the fighting in Stalingrad, where they realised they needed that kind of vehicle. They sort of made an improvised version. It was known as Sturminfanteriegeschütz. Something like that. Stui something 33B. Of which a bunch were used in Stalingrad. They're basically based on the Panther 3. Kind of looked like this, just a lot more improvised. Some were actually captured by the Surge and used against the Germans. Fun fact, but that basically spurred on the Sturmpanzer 4, which sort of saw first action in 1943. There was like overall sort of 3 major versions with sort of real small improvements. It's a little fun fact there. And then of course there was the Sturmtiger, which was the even bigger version with a really big rocket. There you go, Panzer Reserve Riflemen. Need to retreat those Panzer Grenadiers there. Would be a shame to lose the hero ones there. Rather than they're getting blasted by the Panzer Grenadiers, so artillery fire they're laying down. Need to be careful here. Sturmpanzer should have been supporting, could have cleared the anti-tank and maybe some other bits. Instead, he's leaving the Sturmpanzer 4 on its own, which is definitely more risky. Needs to get the Stuka support. Still, push the paratroopers away with that. On the other hand, the Sturmpanzer takes several hits up from the Jackson, which leaves it in a rather awkward state. And there you go, more Stuks out here for Væringjar. Oh dear, again. Ah, Scheiße. Scheiße. He also needs more Pioneers now. I mean, at this stage, with the kind of army he's getting and has, 1 Pioneer squad just is not enough. Like, this is way too little here for Væringjar. Way too little to actually probably maintain and get his units operating. Malta, they've been caught as well. His forces are definitely overstretched and tattered in a lot of areas, I feel. Stuk halfway to Veteran 3 in the ace level. And then dead. There's definitely some issues there with Væringjar and unit preservation at times. And again, he just doesn't enough to repair stuff consistently fast enough. Like, if you had 2 Sturmpioneer squads, you quickly fix up the Stuk, then move to the Sturmpanzer. But again, Væringjar just sort of sticks around with 1 Pioneer squad, which just isn't enough. I mean, he's doing great work with the Panzer Grenadiers, which is impressive. A lot of players tend to, I think, underestimate them, but well utilised they are quite good. In particular with the ambush camouflage, it certainly makes them even better. even then, he needs more pioneers as well. Gunners need to be careful. Troops healing reinforcing. There you go. Sturmpanzer field once more ready for war. There we go. Good hit. Sturmgeschütz takes a hit there from the Jackson. Falling back there. Pioneers panzers advancing. Overall, the situation is looking pretty grim here for Væringjar at the moment versus Miragefla, to an extent being able to keep control. But again, at every time of Væringjar just looked like to be on the cusp of really break through, he just usually makes some kind of mistake, which allowed Miragefla to just punish him, pretty much keeping Væringjar then contained. Plus the Ostwind. The Ostwind just was a very poor choice there from Væringjar. He's down to 93 versus Miragefla, 349. Compared to, of course, Miragefla made mistakes as well, but overall, with all the infantry he had and just, the state of riflemen, like, if he can't, maintain his infantry, he can't really push through them. That combined with some of the other mistakes he has, like, again, just not enough pioneers, makes it much harder to, push through. Smoke screen down, not a bad idea. You see the ambush campfire to creep ahead across the ground with all the light cover that base from the cover. They can't theoretically do it. Of course, once they get within firing range of something, just begin firing, so it slightly falls apart here, but still, nice usage. Miragefla calling in the Recon bombing strafe here. The cluster bombs to just stop things. I think Væringjar is also just getting desperately wants to take that point. It's not considering alternate paths of attack, trying or where Miragefla is forced catch it off guard. Instead, he's just trying to break through to the victory point there, which is certainly making it easier for Miragefla to defend, and he's certainly taking advantage of it. They could lay down some fighting position or something to make it a bit easier to further defend, but he's not quite committed to that. There's certainly some things could be done better here by both sides. Smoke bombs down. I mean, he's using smoke to cover his attacks, which is good. It's just he doesn't quite seem to follow up on the smoke. This might actually be a reconnaissance move. On the anti-tank gun, punches here versus lots of riflemen. Stone punch moving ahead, gun is moving in, anti-tank fire there. Stone puncher shoots. Oh, good hit. They almost takes out the entire patch, which do move too far. Punches them in to deal with the anti-tank gun. Gun is almost taken out. Oh, Pack 40 actually in here. There you go, got the anti-tank gun. Bun grenades is just wanting to pull ahead with the anti-tank gun. It's on a bit awkward. There we go. Captain rushes forwards. Strength of the Sturmpanzer. And there we go. Good hit. Almost wiping the entire lot. And another Stug for Væringjar. Just more Sturmgeschütz here. Lots and lots of Sturmgeschütz. 50 points left though. Grenade over the anti-tank gun. Sturmpanzer there gaining veterans 1, gaining access to the barrage ability. And there you go. Jackson Gray moving in. He needs to turn about to deal with that. Good hit there. Good hit from the Pack 40. Sturmpanzer though certainly took a bit of bite. And there you go. Rifle moving in. Large horde. Panzer grenades. I need to position the Sturmpanzer well. Oh, this is really horrid. Bazooka fire. There you go. Sturmpanzer shoots. Ah! Shot lands off quite the mark there. Grenades from the Panzer grenades. He's managing. Oh, grenade off as well there. Ah! Both sides suffering heavily there, but it matters more to Væringjar. He's down to 43. Anti-tank and taking a shot there. Jackson misses. Jackson taking a hit from the Sturmpanzer there. Getting more shots off, but he's bombarding instead of allowing him to fire more reactively. Pack moving up. The Stug taking a hit. Panzer moving up against Rifleman. Grenades off. Trying to catch the paratroopers. There we go. Almost got them. Pretty bloody stuff. And Miragefla's throwing a ton of resource. I think he's just not realised what's going on. Oh, he's rushing in the Stug. I think Væringjar's losing it. But Miragefla's, I think, just got completely absorbed by the fighting. He's, I think, also running into some issues. As Væringjar is just struggling with the map control, Miragefla is just struggling with paying attention to his real lines, his logistical side, and he's not using his resources efficiently. Which is certainly beneficial for Væringjar because, oh, as Miragefla goes across, when there he goes, realize he's got a lot of resources when going for stuff here. Væringjar, though, needs more pioneers. Like, one is just not enough at this stage of the game with that level of armor. He desperately needs more pioneers. And there you go, big push from Miragefla up in the east side. Needs to get the Sturmpanzer over there. That's probably his best bet. That's sort of halting the Yankees. Once the machine gun gets smoked. Panzer moves to ambush. There you go. Good shot, good shot. Need to get the Sturmpanzer in there. And whatever else he can muster. But he's not. He's worried. And it's allowing Miragefla just to walk straight through here. Again, at this stage, Væringjar can't afford to be prudent. And he wasted that opportunity when he became too reckless. When he should have been prudent. Now when he wants to be prudent, he can't be prudent. Because now he has to play more recklessly. Panzer need to retreat. Oh, Scheiße. Rückzug. Smoke off here, Panzer push back. And we got here raid tactics off. Some grab points here. Make it hard here for Væringjar to stall him. Now he's rushing it with the Stooges. He's going for the Jackson. Cheeky. Sturmpanzer eventually too, by the way. Good hit. There's smoke bombs down to allow the Stooges to further push ahead here. Væringjar is getting very aggressive. And there you go. Gets the Jackson. Shem, they're pulling through there. He wasn't anticipating a Shem just to blitz through. Going for Sturmpanzer. The Stooges are too far away to support. And the tank gun is trying to deal with it. But the Sturmpanzer is going to go down with that one his best option. Dealing with all of Miragefla's troops. Panzerfaust off. Sturmpanzer down. Almost got the Sherman. Sherman down, Bazooka Fire gets one of the Stooges. Væringjar is holding on extremely barely. There you go, grenade off. Now they're going to do squad white. Væringjar and the 111th Panzer Brigade barely got anything. Going for a Panzer IV now. By this stage, I think it is safe to say this is probably GG. Another Jackson there for Miragefla in the meanwhile. 25 points left. 24. Machine gun being rushed in. Grenades off. 20. Panzer about to get wiped. 18. Ground pursuing. Stug is good to go, but too far removed to do anything. You could actually pop raid tax just to grab the point here with the ground, just to further speed things up against Væringjar. Now they got Nata. Exchange. 8 points left. And you go GG from Væringjar. Game over. Game over. A loss here for Væringjar. Overall, I mean, the issue with Væringjar, again, it was certainly an aggressive player. In many ways, certainly made some good moves. The problem was at times he just got really reckless and lost sight of things. It also probably helped, again, he's just not used to the American players. I mean, grenades, again, the Americans got a lot of, Mirage basically got a lot of sneaky wipes just with the grenades here and there, which definitely didn't benefit, Væringjar. I would also say the Austrian he got out first was a big mistake. It's just not that good. It's basically still suffering for the buff he got back in December, which kind of actually made it worse. He should have gone for a Panzer IV. He didn't, and that certainly made things a lot easier for Miragefla to deal with in terms of the armour there. Had he gone for the Panzer IV, I think Miragefla would overall had a much harder time versus Væringjar. The other bigger issue was long term. He only had one Pioneer squad. Had he had two Pioneers, he got everything repaired faster, and that would also allow him to be more aggressive, pressure Miragefla better. But again, because he had one Pioneer squad, it took him ages to get anything done with his vehicles, and that also gave Miragefla more time to recover. More Pioneers would have made it harder for Miragefla to buy time to recover, would allow, Væringjar to be more aggressive. So while he certainly had a good swing, he was really good with his Panzer, and he's also made some good disruptive pushes against Miragefla. Again, the problem was he could just never sustain himself. And by that side, not easy as the Wehrmacht, he just made it even harder. I also definitely think, pardon me again, he should have gone for Jaeger infantry with the Jaeger command squad to certainly helped a bit with his infantry issue. So I think there's some definite things there that Væringjar could have done well. Miragefla certainly played well, but he certainly struggled a bit with armor preservation. At times he could also benefit from Mars. I do think some finding positions would also help Miragefla out a bunch there. So there you go. Hope you enjoyed this match. Hope you learned something from it. If you did, subscribe, tell a friend, share it with everyone. If not, send in a replay and some feedback in the comment section. Also, big thanks to Eris of Thrace and Dion for donating and support the Propagandacast. By PayPal, by the way, which you can find a link to in the video description. You can also pledge on Patreon, support me that way. Either way, big thanks to Eris of Thrace and Dion allowing me to keep on doing this. So thank you all and see you all tomorrow for another signing episode. Bye.